Hi there, Jamie Lutz with Pro Co-op, and I've got a quick market minute for you. Biggest news in the story today is the newly elected Argentine president has been unveiling his intentions to curb rampant inflation and trying to get their economy back on track. Trade has been expecting some drastic measures since Milei has shockingly won the runoff election last month, but nobody's been sure how quickly those changes would take place. He took office on Sunday, and his first act has been devaluing the Argentine peso. Argentina will weaken their peso by 50%, roughly. Also on the docket are energy subsidies and cutting some public works project. Milei is a staunch Republican and also looks to cut export taxes and other government regulations in order to get a free market back in place in Argentina. These drastic measures are likely to have some very serious shorter-term pains, but are very necessary for the long-term stability of their economy. The citizens of Argentina wanted change, and they are getting it. I'm not sure this has major short-term impacts on the market, but the long term, it will mean there's more product available, whether it's corn, beans, or meal. Why is this important? Argentina relies on ag exports in a major way for their economy. Farmers down there notoriously hoard their crops, as this has been their only hedge against inflation. This can create a burden on exporters. Taking steps to curb inflation is likely to change their export flows, making them consistently more competitive in the world market. The world's largest exporter of meal should bounce back in a big way, and they are posed for a bumper crop this year. And spec traders with exposure are not likely to wait around for the pain. As of yesterday, the managed money funds were estimated to be long about 38,000 contracts of beans and short about 162,000 contracts of corn. What does this tell me? Let's back up for a second. In the markets, for every buyer you need a seller, every seller you need a buyer. When you don't have an equal number of participants in the market, you can drive the market one way or the other. Think about a retirement farm auction. The flat rack that has 40-year-old hammers, wrenches, and worn-out shovels doesn't bring very much. However, if you get further down the line, and let's say the guy has a John Deere 4020 or a Farmall 686, and it's something that everybody wants, that tractor is likely to bring more now than it did when it was brand new. Let's bring this back to the markets. The funds are long beans. They have bought beans, and if they are trying to sell and no one wants to buy, they will drive the market lower until they find a buyer. However, on corn, they have a sizable short position on, so the near term, we may have limited downside. However, we're also lacking in any story to really cause the market to go up too. Let's wrap this up with what should we be doing. I am an avid believer that every farm is unique, so what works best for one farm isn't necessarily going to work for another, but let's go for a couple general recommendations. The last couple of years have been very easy to sell grain. Let's start with the guys in the bin. You are going to have to go out and look at the further out months, such as July, because that's where the carry is in the market, and that's what's going to give you the most amount of money. The last couple of years, selling up front has given you the most money. But you also need to consider your interest expenses and workloads too. Someone who's borrowing money at 7 to 10%, or somebody who's paying storage at the elevator, is more likely to look at the front months. Myself, Chris Pohl, and Clinton Pavelko are all here to have those more in-depth conversations with you to find the right solution for your farm. My last thought for today is, remember, we have been blessed with a gorgeous fall. Every day that is like today makes winter one day shorter, and I am so happy for that. But remember to check the condition of the grain in the bin. When we took the corn out of the field, the conditions were very warm. We've had a very warm fall in general, and we really want to be checking those and not forget about them. We've also put a lot of expenses into next year's crop with a very successful agronomy season. New crop bids haven't been changing a great deal. If we're profitable, we need to take some risk off the table, and I would highly recommend putting in some offers for $470 cash for 2024 new crop, and I would look at cash sale of $12.25 on new crop 2024 beans, and my next target after that would be close to the $12.50 mark. For a more in-depth conversation about the markets, please remember to join us at our market outlook in January. It will be January 16th at the Shores in Emmetsburg. We will start the meeting at 4 p.m. and we are planning to have market updates from energy, agronomy, and grain. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season.